Today I'm going to be talking to Tara Jackson, who is one of my longest standing nurse practitioners at the Cosmetic Skin Clinic. And she is somebody that worked with me for years and years, it's 11 years, and we've treated patients together. I hope that actually everybody sees you differently to the way I'm seeing you, Tara.
Because I'm seeing you like this.
Because you're like that. So I hope everybody... So is everybody seeing her normally? Yes. No, sorry, you're upside down.
No, but you're upside. How do I do that? Oh my God.
That's it. That's good. But you did. No, now you're on your head. That's it. That's it.
Oh gosh,
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yes.
No.
Fantastic, but I can't hold it that whole time. Let me do that. Oh, you planned everything. I'll have to stand up.
This is why we like live Instagram, because anything can happen. All it would take is my dog to come in here and we could have a disaster. So anyway, welcome, Tara. I was just introducing you as somebody who's been with the Cosmetic Skin Clinic for 11 years. We've had our good times. We've had some dramatic times over those years. But actually, I'm really, really interested because today we're going to be talking about the fact that because we're in this very unusual scenario, because those of us, we're in something that none of us really understand fully, we've had to address the needs of the patients by going on to virtual consultations, and we've found that actually that has been embraced incredibly well. Sorry, now I can just...
Sorry.
You're perfect. Stay as you are.
I spent 40 minutes getting it ready and then I was the wrong way around. So I'm just going to try and do it live.
No, that's great. Just stay like that. That's good. Just get there. That's great. So actually, Tara, so what we decided to do, as you know, was engage with our patients who were sitting at home. They'd come in as patients to our clinic, or there were people that were engaging with us. We weren't able to provide the level of service that we were used to, because obviously face-to-face is what we do and what I think we do best. But you've started to roll out these virtual consultations with patients. So tell me how that's coming along.
Very busy. Very busy. We thought of it as, I know lots of people are thinking of it, but we just wanted to touch base with so many patients who've been booked in, who were just querying what they could do with their skincare during lockdown. And of course, there's so much you can do. If you're on medical grade skincare, it's really a great time. If patients who know me well will know how much I go on about retinols and how important, if you want good quality skin that isn't going to prematurely age, you need to start putting in a lot of retinol into your skin. But you're never too young to start, but if you start sort of later, it's never too late to start either. So
so you found a lot of patients were engaging with you. So did you get a lot of new patients? Because I even don't know this. Was it mainly existing patients who you're chatting to, or you're running the consultations for, or is it actually lots of new patients as well?
Funny enough, it wasn't any of my patients, but I think I've got them so well trained on skincare that they kind of know what to do. But it's new patients. It's a combination. It's new patients. I had one lady who'd had a baby, been having some injectables with you, Tracy, had the baby, just stopped breastfeeding, and wanted to regroup and said, what can I do? I'm feeling tired, shattered, and can't wait to get back into the clinic. But what can I do in the meantime? So that was great.
Yeah. So just had a question come through. Somebody says, you know what, and we might as well just launch into a question. Seeing as people are asking, let's answer the questions. Somebody said, what would you do for somebody in their early 20s? Because obviously, we have to be very careful about what we recommend is someone so young, their skin's so young. So how would you go about, I know it's difficult because you don't know anything about this person, but generally for a 20-year-old.
So we get lots of 20-year-olds in, and sometimes we do have to rein them back on what they want. And they don't need it. They don't realize how gorgeous they are in their 20s. But it's so important that if you want, 95% of premature aging is sun damage. And of course, so many of them, are on holiday, maybe sunbeds. So it's really important that they start adding in an antioxidant as early as you can. I get my patients...
Can you explain, Tara, sorry to keep interjecting, but can you explain what an antioxidant is in just a few sentences for somebody that doesn't really understand?
So antioxidants are a free radical scavenger. So free radicals are all in the atmosphere, and when we're out and about exposed to UVA, UVB, these free radicals are attacking our cells and degrading them, and just in turn making us prematurely age. So vitamin C, free radicals are just encapsulating like a little safety jacket round your cells, protecting them from all that. In fact, I'm standing under a glass roof at the moment, so getting UVA depth. So my vitamin C that I put on this morning is just giving me that layer of extra protection along with my SPF.
Yeah,
so
and what somebody also asked was talking about retinol. Can they just buy it without a prescription? And definitely, without a consultation, that is, sorry. But we have quite strict processes in the clinic, don't we, about retinol?
In all my consultations, it's really, I do have to sort of tick a few boxes first. How, allergies, what medication, we won't give a retinol just out, they do. And at the moment, it's no problem. Just book in for a virtual consultation. And I just
which costs nothing, which doesn't incur anything. And people can find out.
Yeah, they can. We can prescribe them a retinol, a prescription strength or non-prescription, depending on their needs. And yes, they need to speak to me first.
Okay. And another question: what SPF should we use? Oh, that's an interesting one.
I always say with SPFs, there's so many on the market, and it's important that and sometimes it's a trial and error. You have to go through quite a lot of brands before you find the one that you like. And when you like it, you wear it. If you don't like it, it's very easy to skip it. And so we'll all have our favorites. The favorites we like at Cosmetic Skin Clinic are the Helio Care, very affordable.
Yeah, I love that one. It's my personal favorite.
Spanish range, absolutely gorgeous. And lots of tints, shades. And then the ones I like are the Zoabaji. So there is something called Smart Tone. So it matches, it's got some sort of clever chemical in it that matches your skin tone. You rub it in and it matches the same tone as your skin. So I love Smart Tone. And I also love the mineral SPF brushes.
Oh, the powders, because they take that shine off as well.
If you've got makeup on, you're out, you think, oh my gosh, I need another layer. I'm getting a lot of sun exposure here. You can just whip it out your handbag, pop it on. Doesn't interfere with your makeup at all, and you've got a nice layer of protection.
And out of interest, just going back, because obviously we want to wear a sunscreen at any time, but we want to particularly be aware of that when we're doing either treatments, or we'll come on to this in a minute, or we're using medical grade products that will actually make us just a little bit more prone to the effects of UV. And somebody's asked, would I do, but I'm just asking whether you would, do you recommend patients use retinol around their eyes? Of course, the eye area is a very sensitive area. I do use retinol around my eyes. I would say it's a must, but with consideration and with care.
Yeah,
what would you say?
It's a personal thing. I generally get my patients to build up their retinol tolerance on their face. And then when they say to me, what eye cream should I use? There's lots of nice eye creams out there, but I generally think if you can get the most potent anti-aging cream up to your lash line, which is a retinol, if you can get it up there, use that instead of an eye cream. If you can't, if you've got sensitivity or you become puffy with retinol around the eyes, just swap over to an eye cream. When I'm back in clinic and we're back to doing our treatments again, and I probably go back to my normal neck protocol, which is a bit of Botox and some Profilo and every 18 months null therapy. But while I'm in lockdown, I'm stimulating it with lots of retinol.
And I think that's another thing that people don't realise is that, you can't make an omelette without cracking eggs. So, we sometimes, with some of the treatments or some of the products we use, we're going to take people actually looking worse before they look better, potentially. And I think this is where sometimes people think they've got an adverse event or they've got something that's gone horribly wrong, when actually what they're going through is a natural phase. And I think it's our job, of course, to be very careful about counselling people that can happen. They can look worse before they can look better.
That's why, the girls that were on reception who will be asked if could someone pop a retinol in the post, we really do need them to speak to us, because otherwise they will think they're reacting, but they're just responding. you know, retinol is great for the skin, but it irritates the skin. So once we've explained that, patients are much more compliant. If I don't explain it, they pop it on for a few times and go, oh, I can't do retinol.
I had a reaction.
I had a reaction. I'm allergic to it. That's not the case.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like going to the gym and having a big workout and then having sore muscles. You don't phone up your personal trainer and say my muscles hurt. Well, you might do, but that's what you would expect. So you've got a lot of stimulation, increased cell turnover that does create a little bit of irritation. But it's not like this all the time. This is just your building up to it. So a lot of my patients will take nearly about 3 months to get to applying their Retinol every night. That's why
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah. That's what one of the questions was, how long does it take to adjust to it? But actually it can vary enormously from skin to skin and person to person, can't it?
Totally. And that's why we have got that trust in with Zoe. I personally absolutely love the Zoe range. If my patient, you
were talking about Zoe Bargy is what you
sorry,
like.
Zoe Bargy. Yes, there's two. We used to sell the old range, a Bargy Nuderm, but we've moved over to the Zoe Xenobargy. And yeah, if you have 5 products of those in your 40s and 50s, you are going to really see an improvement in the textural tension and integrity of your skin.
Okay, I'm gonna just draw you on that. You said if you had. Now I'm lazy. I know what I should be doing. I am a very lazy, and I'm not lazy in every other aspect of my life, but I like to keep things very, very, very simple because I'm normally flying out the front door. There's only 2 or 3 people at me. I've got to get into London. I'm rushing around, obviously not at the moment. What would be your general hero products, your go-to to keep things as simple as possible, but your biggest wins?
Right. So if patients aren't product queens like me, or the budget doesn't extend to five products, I will always say your key products are antioxidants to protect your skin from premature aging. And so that's antioxidants, your daily powder vents and vitamin C, and retinol at night to repair. So it's all about, the key things are to protect and repair. If you do that, obviously retinols, your skin on your neck and your décolletage is made very different. It hasn't got so many oil glands, so it does get easily irritated by products. So I've got some anti-aging growth factor serums I can add into your protocol and build it up slowly, and then put in a retinol. But generally, once we're up and open again, if their neck and the décolletage is really concerning them, I would try and move them over to our technologies that we've got, because skincare will go so far and we've got to be very consistent with it. It's topical and it will take you so far, but it's not going to correct everything. You know, if you've started early and you really have preserved your skin, that's perfect. But if you're like me and you've been out there, was sort of putting tinfoil behind our heads in our sort of 20s to get a tan, retinol would help.
Did you really do that? Did you really do that? I certainly did.
Yes, I would start saying profile. You need to put some hydration in it. Injectable profilers. Okay,
so we're taking us, quite neatly. I mean, obviously this is about skincare and we can answer lots of skincare questions. And those of you that we haven't, we can always answer if you email in or ask for a virtual consultation. As I say, it's very straightforward, and you can regroup specifically on these things with Tara. But of course, you've been doing aesthetic medicine for a long time. You've very much trodden that, what you've said today, that path of, if you don't look after the canvas of your skin, if you don't look after that, then all these other things that we can offer are not going to look as good, they're not going to work as well, they're not rah, rah, rah. So you touched just then on, if we all know that really good medical skincare will really improve the texture and tone of the skin. But if you had to then, talk about, not go on forever, but talk about the technology treatments. I know, Tara, you're a very broad aesthetic practitioner, meaning you're a very good injector at very high level. You're very good with technology at very high level. What are your favourite go-tos for technology to max out on the best look for people, say in between 30 and 50? Years old.
Right. Okay. So what's nice, what I think is fairly unique about us is that we do have a lot of technology at Cosmetic Skin Clinic. So we don't have to go to one bit of technology.
Preventatively to stimulate collagen for younger patients, but where we love it, of course, is to give lift and stimulation and support for 40 to 55. That's sort of pushing that on, because you can actually get some really nice mid facelift, some really nice lower facelift, and some nice neck remodeling. Again, particularly, I talked about this the other day, particularly if we combine that sometimes with injectable hydrating treatments and collagen stimulating treatments like Profilo. So
yeah, definitely. I think if you want to have a rejuvenated look or preserve your look, so say you're in your 30s and early 40s and you've just begun to see the odd signs of a little bit of the aging process. If you want to preserve you, that's so much easier than me trying to repair you later. So, and which we do all the time. A lot of our patients present to us when they're in their 60s and sometimes in their 70s saying, can we do much about it? And yes, we can. We still can do, with the right amount of filler and the right amount of technology, we can, but it's so much better. And that's why start your skincare in your 20s, your antioxidant, your vitamin C, start your technology 30s, and then just maintain that technology all the way through to the grand age of me.
Whatever you get. And that is a really interesting thing. I think that's what the service that I think we should be providing, and in fact we do, is that understanding the goalposts move over time, understanding that we have to adapt the way we treat people over time. Natural harmonious look, which is what I think you're trying to express there.
Yeah, totally. If you want to keep a fresh look, you have to address, there is no point just having your Botox done all the way through your 30s.
No, you can't.
You will look done.
It's got to be gradual. So if you were on a desert island, Tara, and you could only take one thing with you, or you could only take one product with you. Actually, no. I'm going to break this down. If you could only take one product with you, I think I know what you'll say. What would you take? Okay. If you're on a desert island, remember all that UV.
Yes, yeah. Well, obviously, it's going to have to be my SPF. But it's a shame I can only have one, because I nearly need the vitamin C underneath it to be able to layer it properly to get the maximum protection.
Okay, so that'd be your product.
SPF and
vitamin C. And if you had one go-to technology, and you were on a desert island, and you had power, but you had a power source that you could plug your technology into, what would that be?
Oh gosh, that's difficult, because you know what a technology queen I am. If whatever we've got, I'm on it. I think probably my biggest win, my biggest hit for me, I'm a bit on the heavy side. I never want to look too heavy here, is Ultherapy. I've had 3 Ultherapies in the last 6 years, and I do think that has prevented me from being too jowly.
Okay, somebody just said, I don't want to digress, but somebody just commented on how great your skin is. Your skin is amazing, Tara. And actually, they've asked how old you are. I don't know whether you want to share that on social media.
And I just want to say, I've been having lots. I can just tell. And I agree, years ago you could, but you don't now. All those lovely friends who are giving me encouragement. I'm 56. I think I'm 56.
Yeah, Tara does look amazing, and I have to say, whenever I see her in the clinic, she's always doing something to make that skin look so good. So, and then sometimes I do see her looking a little bit peely, for want of a better term of phrase. And I just want to end on something. Of course, these things are never, ever long enough, but we need to keep them interesting and punchy for people. So what is the biggest myth? So the biggest myth that I'm a big thing about, people have such you know, information that they think that this is correct and it's actually not. What is the myth you want to dispel today about anything to do with aesthetic treatments?
Okay, so I think the biggest myth, when our patients come in as new patients to us and we have the consultation, we go through everything, what they're always worried about, is it going to look natural? So I think there's a big myth around that injectables, fillers, Botox, you're just going to look like something out of, you know, a cartoon character. Good filler treatment should be undetectable. Even when you've had sometimes we inject 5, 6, 7 syringes, it should still, you know, there's all parts of the skin, what we call vectors, that need lifting and softening. So that's probably what it is. The biggest myth is that, and patients say this to me all the time, oh, I can tell everyone who's had lip filler. I can just tell. And I agree, years ago you could, but you don't now. You know, we've really perfected our techniques.
Well, you do now sometimes, but not in, yeah. But I mean, walking around, you see people, it's clear that they've had.
But you know, if you support the skin in the lip and don't let it become sort of 2 little disappearing lips, you can carry on putting a very soft filler that is just what we call a lip refresh. And so I think that's the biggest myth, is that filler can look good, and it does look good. And the people it looks good in, you won't know they've got filler in.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But that comes with experience. It comes with using not only good products, but it comes with very good experience. It comes with something that I always, again, bang on about. And that is that practitioner, whoever that practitioner is. And we're very lucky to have extremely experienced practitioners. And I absolutely sound very biased, but I know the team are incredibly talented, and it's to do with having a great visualization and understanding that if you do this, what's going to happen, and not putting a 20-year-old's lips on a 60-year-old woman's face, because no matter how wonderful that 60-year-old woman looks, she's not going to look great with lips that only suit a 20-year-old. And that's why it's very important to have this holistic approach, this total approach to faces, I believe.
I think we're all doing, you and I and the rest of the team, we're doing more and more patients' lips. Don't you agree? We are, yes. You know, years ago we used to fill them, going, oh yeah, we better fill them, we can't put anything in here. Now, oh no, we and then giving it all a little bit of support and a stretch, and they are liking it. They look fab. It looks
because it looks in harmony with their face. And the other thing is that when we're doing lips, we're actually addressing what we call an indirect approach. By supporting here, you're actually making that lip that often reduces that way and reduces that way. You're actually treating the lip indirectly before you get stuck into the real business of this. And then you're not creating that sort of look.
Totally. It is all about balance and sequence of injectables. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back, we're just going to wrap up now. But Tara, tell me, you know, just to sort of wrap up, what will you be hoping that people would be doing this lockdown period to just keep themselves looking absolutely delicious before we see them? So you're obviously offering the virtual consultations. You're getting inundated, so you're opening up your diary to even more, and some of the other team are going to be joining you on that. But what would be something you'd say to people to do, just, you know, in terms of looking after their skin in this lockdown?
Right, it's ideal time while we're in lockdown to really become tolerant to retinol. Retinol, I know I'm banging on about it, but it's the most anti-aging serum you can apply to the skin. So, but it does irritate our skin, and it can take a couple of months. So while we're in lockdown, why don't you just get on and do it? So your vitamin C's won't irritate your skin. You can use those every day, but I just need you to build it up, and you might as well build it up a little bit quicker while we're in lockdown, and then come out of it, and then.
Great tip. Great tip. Thank you, Tara. I'm going to call it there. It's been really informative. There's been lots of questions, but those people who want to just let us know. Tara's available to consults. Enjoy the rest of the day. Keep the sunscreen on. Don't overdo it.
I've got consults in about 10 minutes. So
all right. Well, then we call it then. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Tara, and speak soon. Bye. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you.